Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and soul. With energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Let's go, SBTV Nation. I want everybody up on your feet this morning. It's your boys in the house. It's the Dream, along with the Mad Hatter. What's going on, y'all?
Dream, that track always gets me going, brother. No matter how bad the day is going, as soon as I hear that, I'm like, pow, boom.
Yes, sir.
What
yes,
is
sir.
up?
Definitely a good track. Definitely motivational music. I use it a lot when I'm working out at the gym to get me going as well. But we don't really need to get going because we have so much going on right now in the world of sports. So many things happening. Gang, please understand that the city of New York right now is underwater. And it's not because of anything that God made happen. It's not because of storms. It's not because of the flood. But it is because of the intense crying right now by the New York Giant fan base. As I have been listening to 3 days, Hat.
I know, it's been nuts.
3 days of crying. They sick of ODB. They're sick of the Giant management. They're sick of everybody. They had enough. Finally, Odell Beckham Jr. has worn out his welcome in New York. Don't nobody care about the one-handed catches no more.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He did miss a lot of balls, Dream.
They're saying that, Odell, your one-handed catches were dope, but if you watch the game on Saturday, Seattle Seahawks had a player that made 2 of them in one game, and he's like the third string.
Oh, wow. Wow. Good morning to everybody. We are the SBTV Nation, and we are live on all the social media outlets, including Twitter, and just looking forward to having a conversation about the NFL, what went down last week, what went down on Monday night with the CollegeFootball Championship, and what's to come this week as we've got the second round of the playoff stream.
No doubt.
What do you want to start with?
Well, let's start off with a recap of what happened on Sunday. I know you're not really happy about talking about the opening game and where there was a fish fry finally in Pittsburgh on Monday.
Well, you know, what's more embarrassing, the loss of the Dolphins or how you finished like 18th place in fantasy football, Dream?
Yeah, I'm good in 18th as I saw that you won a whopping $54 it was on Saturday.
I was second place again this week, and you know what? I'm pretty pissed off about that because second place is the first loser, Dream. So I am not happy about that, but hey, I'll move on, and I will win this week. As
you did
we were
good,
going to
just
do it
keeping
again.
your Aaron Rodgers planted in at the quarterback spot and just riding with that. It's a great way to do fantasy work, I think.
Randall Cobb, Dream. Randall Cobb did it for me, brother.
You got Randall Cobb because you didn't have any money. By the way, just stop. You had minimal money. And Randall Cobb was, we didn't even know whether he was playing or not.
Nah, I knew he was
You
questionable.
closed your eyes. Randall Cobb didn't play the week before, Hat.
I'm aware of that.
You closed your eyes and said, I think Randall Cobb is good. I hope that this guy will work because he's only 2 G's.
I did a lot of 2 G's. I did a lot of homework on him. You know, he had the injury, but they said he was scheduled to play.
Had 2 G's left in the account. Payroll to pick up a guy. It was like, I'm going to roll with. It was either Randall Cobb or like the 5th string or Victor Cruz from New York.
Oh my God! And I was in one of those multi-mega $1 million ones, Dream.
Okay.
And you know what? If it wasn't for Anquan Bolden, I would have finished in the 4-digit or higher mark, either a minimum of $1,000. Anquan Bolden wrecked that whole team.
Dude, that daily fantasy, man, first of all, I want to talk about, it's to me almost more addicting than regular gambling, because at least regular gambling, with some of your losses, like, you get mad, but you could see it, but then it's like you've seen this kind of stuff happen before. Yep. With this daily fantasy thing, though, as you're trying to put this lineup together, and then you sit there and you watch what the guys you put together do, it gets you, I don't know, like, I'm so kind of energized to go give it another shot again this week, even knowing that I've already failed miserably my 3 times doing it. But to me, there's an addiction factor to this that's almost, like I said, it's my, you know what? I'm finding myself a little bit more motivated to want to do this daily fantasy thing just to get it right.
Yep.
Than I am about my actual wagering.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, Drew. The problem is that, you've been getting smoked by your boy here. Now, guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to pump the contest up this week, Dream, because we filled 20 spots fast.
Yes.
So I'm going to pump it up to 25. Top 2 get paid, and it's $10 buy-in, guys, and we will go from there. And you know what, Dream? I'm sick and tired of being in second place.
Daily fantasy, bro, reminds me a lot of the roulette table. Like, you just want to keep going. It's like you knew it was black, but you played the red, so you're like, I'm doubling down on the red.
Yeah, I'm going to start this contest and get it going. But congratulations to LB153410, whoever the hell you are. You beat me by 8 points.
And mind you, I had to go with Big Ben. I thought the quarterback position would be handled. Miami decided that they were not going to stop the run by any stretch of the imagination, but when I started the week off, I said, let's just go get Ben, Bell, and Brown, and then fill in the rest, like make it work.
Yep.
And then as I go on, you start second-guessing yourself and thinking opposite ways. And even the day before the game, I was going to take Ajayi out and put Bell in. But the Pittsburgh Steelers guys cost a fortune. I mean, Ben was like $7,600, and Bell was 10 G's.
Yeah, Bell was 10 G's. Yeah, exactly. I had Bell in one of my leagues, but I mean, actually, Bell was, I want to say he was like 8,700 or something like that, Dream.
Right.
It was Antonio Brown that was over 10,000.
Yeah, no, Brown was not over 10. Bell was the highest. Bell was the highest Steeler.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? He got us 34.4 points in that contest.
Yeah.
And you know what?
That was the highest Steeler.
I knew that. The Dolphins' rush defense sucks.
I did too, but you would expect that they would. I mean, it's the playoffs, and you think that they would have an extra emphasis on the run, knowing that Pittsburgh has such a potent run game. So I'm like, man, they're going to load up the box. They're going to probably say, beat us with anybody other than Bell. Well, they didn't say that. They were like, beat us with Bell.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
But anyway, we leave that game, which was very successful for me. We move into the later game, which was the Giant Green Bay Packer game. Thank you to Dr. Dan for cutting me off in the middle of my breakdown of the Green Bay Packers and making me say, okay, I'm taking Green Bay, because he definitely inspired me to take Green Bay with a little bit more intensity than I was going to take them. I did not expect the game to go quite like that.
No, definitely not. I mean, it was tight. I mean, the Giants actually had, they had a chance to go up big there and just, let the Packers hang around. And then, sure enough, all of a sudden you see a Hail Mary before the half where Randall Cobb, I had him in my fantasy team, Dream, but I could say that he did push off. I did see that. I did see it. But you know what? Hey, I was happy. And I ended up getting 3 touchdowns out of him. But, after that, that's when the game. I mean, the Giants had a chance. They went with. I think they scored and were within 1 point at one point.
Yeah,
in the third quarter.
Yep, they scored in the second half. They had an opportunity.
Yep, but at the end of the day, the Packers just rolled. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers kept airing the ball out, even with the big lead. Dream.
Dude, the thing was, the Giants, the one thing I noticed about the Giants, even in the first half, and I know that they did sack him like 4 to 5 times in the beginning of the game. However, when they didn't sack him, there was a couple of times he was in the pocket like 8 seconds, which
least.
is absolutely ridiculous for any quarterback.
Right on.
You know, with the exception of Connor Cook. I mean, if any quarterback, you give him 8 seconds in the pocket, it's going to be problems. And the likes of Aaron Rodgers, I said, dude, if that pass rush doesn't tighten up and start getting to him, he's going to eventually get the better of them. And as the game went on, you saw the defense. I mean, it was like one of those heavy. You know what it reminded me of? Remember Rocky 3? Rocky comes out the very first round, starts smoking Clubber Lang, punching him, and then it's like Clubber just waits, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. Right on. Exactly. Thank you to Marlon for that photo. I really appreciate that one. That one is very, very nice, Dream. Exactly. So, yes. That is.
So now let's get into it because my man Shane is already talking about Clemson. And Shane, okay, please. Can we get a minute? Just talk about the NFL for a minute and what happened with the NFL. And now we're ready to talk about, a little bit about the national title. And I know, listen, one thing I do have to say. I don't know if you saw the post-game interview. I'm talking about right after they won. They put the mic in Deshaun Watson's mouth. They put the mic in Dabo Swinney's mouth.
Yep.
Dude, it was so refreshing to me to see these dudes, these good guys, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know any of their behind-the-scenes and off-the-field stories. I don't know what they're all about. I think Scott Weaver told us a little bit about Dabo and having a little bit of a rough grow-up, whatever. I don't know a lot about that. All I know is I have not seen in recent memory a more sincere interview and see two guys that were sincerely grateful for the moment and happy for the moment. But it wasn't happy in that usual, we won, we're dope, we're good. It was more of the moment kind of overtook them and they were in it, and you could just see how sincere they were about being happy that they won it. To me, it was so heartfelt, and it just touched me that I'm commenting on it. I tweeted about it, and I'm commenting on it on the show because it was heartfelt.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was genuine.
Definitely
Truly genuine, exactly. It was almost like when my boy won the NBA title for Cleveland. Same kind of.
I don't think it was like that for me. Only because LeBron had success winning NBA titles. You know what I mean? And LeBron knows how good he is. I think with these guys, it was different because it was all the first time of everything for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I got it. I understand, Dream.
The other point I want to talk about this game that I haven't heard a lot of talk, but Clemson's last possession, from a coaching standpoint and a clock management standpoint, was run to absolute excellence.
I agree with you on that.
I have not seen a last-minute drive run to pure excellence the way this drive was run. They did not panic. They didn't rush. They didn't call timeouts. This drive, you could not have, if you sat down and blueprinted a last drive in a room on a chalkboard, you almost probably would not come out with a more perfect result in execution that Clemson did on that last drive. That drive was incredible the way they ran their last drive, because I'm sitting there and I'm watching the clock and I'm watching them play and I'm saying to myself, wow, first I'm saying they're using too much time. Then I'm like, you know what? This is a good idea because you're not going to give Bama the ball back. Then I'm saying, they're using too much time. Then I'm saying they're going to end up settling for a field goal. Then I'm saying, I don't know. I think they're going to go for it. And it was just great execution. And I'll tell you, we've seen a lot of football games, a ton of football games. This has got to be the best example of the 2-minute or 1-minute drill that has been done all season, NFL or NCAA football.
Like a 1-minute drill.
1-minute drill, exactly.
Because the possession before that was 1:29. So, and then Bama comes down and scores right away. So now you're like, oh my God. When I was watching this game, I just could not believe what was happening. Because you know what? There was a lull in scoring for a little while there, Dream. It was like 24-21 Bama for like a while. And you were just like, can Clemson break through? Can they break through? And you got to tip your hat to the receivers of Clemson. They went up and got all those balls.
They definitely went up and got all those balls. It was absolutely great. It was great. Clemson did great. Now, here's the argument. Deshaun Watson, Action Jackson. I mean, they're banging it to beat. They're beating it to death now because of the way Deshaun ends. And I'm not going to take anything away from Deshaun's excellence in this particular game at the end of the season. The thing that you have to look at is the NCAA season and the Heisman Trophy winner is based on your whole body of work. If you want to take a look at the first 4 games of the season, I mean, come on, dude. You got to give Lamar Jackson the nod. I mean, he opened up the season incredible. Now, I know they didn't finish incredible, but he opened up the season absolutely incredible what he did. Now, at the end of the season, you look at the other way, and yeah, Deshaun Watson was the guy at the end of the season. I get it. And Lamar Jackson definitely fell off and they weren't successful. I don't blame that solely on Lamar. That is also part of the whole team, on a whole. But what Lamar was able to do at the beginning of this season that everybody has completely thrown out of the window and forgot about, okay, was fantastic. And I'm not saying that it would have worked out the same way, but I am going to say if you put Lamar Jackson on Clemson, there would have been a lot of success there as well.
There would have been a lot of success as well. I understand that, Dream, but this is why I said that they should vote the Heisman at the end of everything.
And I agree.
Okay, because number one, head to head, when they played each other, Watson emerged. That's number one. Number two is that Clemson had, let's see how many more games, 2 more games than Louisville, because Clemson had the ACC championship plus the national championship. So he had 2 more games to prove himself. Versus the number 1 defense in all of college football and torched them like that. I mean, that right there on the resume, if it ended after the national championship, I think Watson gets it.
And maybe that's why they don't end it, because when you think about that, it is 2 more games. So that wouldn't really be a fair. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree with you. I disagree because they're both in the ACC. So they both have a shot to lead their teams into a championship, okay? I mean, have you ever seen a Heisman winner on a losing team? I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think that's ever happened. So it's just a question of, the Heisman Trophy goes to obviously somebody that's performing, but, is also being a catalyst to your team being successful and winning games. So you and I are both on the same page where they should do this at the end.
I think they should, but I'm just playing devil's advocate as to why they may not.
All right, got it. All right, but you know what? If in your opinion, right now, if it ended right now, who would you pick as the Heisman winner?
If it ended right now, unfortunately, I would probably go with Watson, but that doesn't mean that that's necessarily right because I didn't go over and take a look. I didn't look at the stats at the end of the season between the two individuals. I would still say offensively, what was his number? I'm trying to look him up now, actually.
All right, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure that Lamar Jackson's very close to him as far as numbers are concerned because they ran up the score on several booty opponents,
right? Being
Louisville. And you know what? There were games where they lost where he couldn't even run up the score. So I mean, it's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close if you could compare the two. But I don't know. I honestly feel like if they do the Heisman at the end, you will get the clear winner, and it won't always be the national champion. It won't because Dream. If you look at it last year, like Alabama, for instance, and Coker wasn't winning. Coker wasn't winning it. Henry, but Henry won it.
Right.
But Henry won it prior to the national championship even happening. So regardless of what happened in that game, he was the winner. You know what I mean?
And Deshaun's numbers are still better. Deshaun's numbers are better than Lamar Jackson's still. So I guess that's kind of hands down. So I guess there's not really an argument. I take that back. I guess you do have to give it to Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely, Dream. So we had a couple of other NFL games go on last weekend. Do you care to talk about them? As far as those teams that are moving forward.
Well,
because we talked about it a little bit on the show, obviously.
Right.
But, you got the Seattle Seahawks who have moved on. Yep. And you got the Houston Texans that have moved on. And, like you said the other day, I don't feel that the Texans' victory was incredibly impressive.
Nope.
by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Seattle Seahawks victory was more impressive than the Houston Texans.
But not by much.
Not by much. Okay?
Not by much. And I recapped that game in my mind and in my head, and I looked at it the whole time. And you guys know I haven't been a big proponent of the Seattle team. I don't like their offensive line. Everybody knows it does start with your offensive line, as you've heard those other people yelling and screaming about their offensive line, how incredible it is. But it starts there. And then everything else kind of develops from there, because if the quarterback doesn't have time and if your running back can't get going, it starts there. Now, the other thing that they had, the other additive that the Seattle Seahawks had was they also had the help of the referees, as they got a lot of calls gone their way that I would expect Atlanta, the front office, the NFL, and the coaching staff. I mean, everybody should be talking about, hey, look, let's make sure we get these calls right this week. There were a lot of blown calls, missed calls, and bad calls in that Seattle game. I don't know if you know this, Hat, but the ump crew, the referee crew, in the playoffs is not the same crews that run all season long.
No,
they go and take the cream of the crop supposedly from each crew, and they put them all together for the playoffs. So now you got a crew that's not used to working with each other. I think that's asinine.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, just let the regular crew find the crews that you assume are the better crews, and let them keep their same crew and ref the game.
Well, you know what I mean, because you have multi-locations. So you're going to have to probably have a minimum of two, because, do you really want to fly these guys out to do the game the next day? At the other one, you got to have probably 4 crews.
Well, yeah, you have 4 crews, but I'm saying you get the top 4 crews based on the season. And that's who you use. I don't get how you split up these crews, and now you got guys. I mean, I know the rules are the rules supposedly, but hey, it's just like, there's other people who do radio and whatever. If they get on here, they may not have the same chemistry that me and Hat have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't always just work smoothly like that. Why not? I think that your best bet would be to keep the same crews and just assign them to the games.
Right on. I'm with you on that. I understand that. But you know what? Hey, this is supposed to be the creme de la creme, as you alluded to, Dream. So anyway, that brings us to the games that are happening this weekend.
No doubt.
And I'm not sure if you want to go into it yet, but I'm looking at it here screaming at me, because we need to have a conversation. And you know what? I got to give you some props on the Pittsburgh Steelers call, because you spotted that like 2 weeks before it even happened, that's the way it was going to go down. So you know what? I got to give you.
Talking about week 13 when I said the Miami Dolphins was the worst 9-4 team in the history of football.
I know. I'm completely. I get it. It's just the lack of, all that talent on defense, and they just couldn't put the defense together.
That being said, there were some opportunities for Miami to really stay competitive in this game. And I know when we look at the game, it looked like Steelers had a lot of dominance. And in certain respects of the game, the Pittsburgh Steelers were dominant. But then there was other respects of this game that the Steelers had you scratch your head saying, you're kind of letting Miami hang around, and there's still some things that Miami is able to do as far as execution is concerned that made you wonder. So, if some people are a little bit leery about Pittsburgh going into KC this weekend, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. And you know what? Like you said, I mean, if it wasn't for the blitz packages that they dialed up when Miami was in the red zone, that's a totally different ballgame. Because you know what?
Marlon, by the way, who is that? And is there any more of her?
Oh, Marlon's girl? Yeah, I know.
Oh, God, kid.
Yeah.
Is there any more of her floating around? Please forward them.
Yeah, exactly. Right on.
Sorry to break up the Steeler thing, but that's got to be like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the size is right there, too. Really.
Oh, my God, son.
The size, I mean, it's she's pretty on top of it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, it's definitely our look.
Oh, yeah, that's a great look right there. Exactly. Yeah, so anyway, getting back to the Steeler game, like you said, I mean, if they don't make Matt Moore fumble, hey, Dream, you got to get. Listen, I know that you just want to be anti-Miami.
I got it.
You got to give Matt Moore credit.
I give Mizzy some credit.
He got murdered. I mean, he got his head taken off. He came right back in the game.
Mizzy don't know where he is right now, by the way. He got on the wrong plane. Mizzy's in Aruba right now. He was supposed to be going
Now,
to
let me ask you a
Atlanta.
question. If you're Mizzy's agent, are you searching for another team?
Hell yeah, I'm searching for another team. There's a lot of openings right now for starting quarterbacks. Mizzy might get a shot if Mizzy can remember who he is, though.
Mizzy's better than Osweiler.
No doubt.
Mizzy's better than Fitzpatrick. Mizzy's
No
better
doubt.
than Sanchez. He's better than a lot of these quarterbacks. That's why I've been calling for him for like 5 years. I've been
I'm
saying,
not going to go
this guy-
crazy with Mizzy, though, because there's something about the backup when they do get the starting job. I mean, Fitzy 2 years ago looked dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody expected the Jets to be as bad as they were this year. He looked like, all right, well, hey, Fitzy, this is their guy. They found him. So I don't know what happens to this with these quarterbacks once they're given the start. We've seen it a lot. I mean, we saw Matt Castle look incredible in New England and then become the best backup in the country as far as being a backup quarterback and riding the bench. But we've seen these quarterbacks who we thought were going to be good starting quarterbacks, and then once given the job and given the money, it just turns out that they're not. So I'm not going to go crazy about Matt Moore, but I will say that Matt Moore definitely looked a lot better than Tannehill at the end of this season, as far as I'm concerned.
Right on. I don't know, but you know what? Hey, if I'm telling you, if I'm his agent, I'm shopping. Because I don't know what his contract is, but I mean, he's going to be a backup quarterback for, until Tannehill goes down again, if he does. Because Tannehill is like their golden boy, Dream. And you know what? Like I said, I'm when Tannehill went down, I wasn't even concerned. I was like, you know what? This guy's going to do just as well. And sure enough, he did. I mean, he won the 2 games, but lost in the playoffs. But hey, it is what it is, and that is the fault of the offensive line not picking up the blitzing linebackers in those particular situations.
Speaking of linebackers and speaking of Steelers, Joey Porter gets arrested after the game as he assaults a doorman and gets arrested. Porter, used to be a linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got a little bit, he's had, some troubles in the past with, law enforcement. But, I mean, come on, dude. This is just a bad move. How are you going to get arrested after the game? I don't know what went down. I don't know the specifics, so I'm not going to really comment on it too much other than I'm just reporting the story that broke. But a little bit of a distraction, I would think, to the Pittsburgh Steelers front office, especially as you're trying to get prepared for the Kansas City Chiefs. So not really a great look by him.
Not a great look, unless it's fake news, Dream. Is it fake
Unless,
news?
Speaking of which,
is it fake news?
I'm glad that you brought that to the forefront, because ironically, the Trump people have been absolutely quiet with the new developing news that is starting to emerge.
Quiet? What are you, crazy? He's more vocal than anybody.
I didn't say him. I said the Trump people.
Oh, man. Completely fabricated story, Dream.
Of course he's been. Of course. Okay, so Hillary didn't say that her stories were fabricated?
Because they weren't.
But no. We found out that they weren't afterwards, but what was her initial to them? That they were fabricated, right?
I don't know. They were her emails.
I don't know.
Those are her emails. Those are her own personal emails that were going back and forth.
Listen.
They got one of the guys that was named in this report. We're talking about, if you're not into politics or whatever, we're talking about this new developments here that came up where they said that Trump has ties to Russia and all this. I mean, it's all made up from the Democrats and all that crap.
Okay. First of all, before you want to say it's all made up from the Democrats, it was a brief put together by the CIA, forwarded to them from Russia. It was given to John McCain, who is a Republican, not a Democrat. Okay. Was given to John McCain, who was a Republican, who brought it forward. So let's get the facts dead right. Now, I don't want to get involved in this too much because there's a whole lot of more information surfacing, and we'll see what happens as this story develops. But it is a little bit bizarre, some of the accusations and allegations that were mentioned in it. Just a little bit bizarre.
It is a little bit bizarre, but one of the guys that they're naming in there was not even the same guy. It's somebody totally different. I don't know. I don't remember his name. I think it was like Mike Cohen or something like that, but it was a different guy. Anyway, Dream, that's enough about politics. Listen, don't be trying to bring the white man down.
Wait, how? I didn't even bring it up. You brought it up. I didn't say
Don't
nothing.
bring the white
All
man
I
down.
said
Come on.
was that it's been kind of quiet from the Trump people with these new allegations coming through.
I don't know about quiet, because he went on there going crazy. And I mean, he's one of the most vocal social media guys I've ever seen.
I am not talking about him particularly. I'm talking about, like, I got nothing on my timeline about this. Nobody hit me up with, Trump, this is nonsense. Nothing on my timeline. It was complete crickets. I don't mean from him. Of course, he's out. Oh, it's nonsense. Oh, it's no big deal. Oh, yeah. They all do that.
Yeah.
Clinton said he didn't do the thing with Monica Lewinsky. Remember, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Dude, lying in the White House or lying out of a politician. I mean, come on. Are we going to be surprised if information comes out and it shows that Donald Trump was involved with Russia? No, I'm not. Will you?
Maybe
Thank
not.
you. No, these guys always lying. You know it.
All right, let's move on, Dream.
Yeah,
let's move on. Just talk real quick about the NFL, just to preview what's going on. Obviously, this weekend we'll have our shows and we'll be talking in depth about these games. However, the opening lines are as follows. You got the Atlanta Falcons, who are -4.5 versus the Seattle Seahawks. We all know what the Seattle Seahawks are capable of on the road, which is not all that much. And we're also pretty aware of what the Atlanta Falcons could do this year offensively. Dream, any opening thoughts on this game? Obviously, I'm not asking you to pick a side yet, just to have a quick conversation about it.
Look at Marlon just said the Hatters, they don't try to bring the white man. Yeah, I know, but I just almost fell out of my chair when I heard that.
Don't keep the white man down.
I'm trying to hang in there with that comment too, Mark, but it's probably I don't know what my boy is on. But anyway, yeah, I do have some thoughts about Atlanta. I love Atlanta this weekend to beat Seattle. I think that, like I said, I think Seattle's offensive line is an issue. I think that Atlanta, we know, even though Atlanta has shown an inability to have success in the playoffs, I think this is a different year. This is a different Atlanta team. I really feel that they're primed. Well, we do know they have playoff experience. They've been there a lot. They just haven't won a lot. And I'm expecting them to get over that hurdle. I think Seattle's overrated. I've been talking about it, for most of the season. I think Seattle is a very overrated team. I think their defense is overrated. I think they are living off of past reputations. I am not impressed with what they did against Detroit. Detroit, I thought, would be able to keep this game close, and if properly officiated, if this game had been properly officiated, the game would have been close. But Detroit showed a collapse in the last 3 games of their season that, I still haven't been able to put my finger on. I did see the ability of Seattle to run the ball, but teams were able to run the ball against Detroit, so I'm not going to go crazy.
All right. So, you know what? And Atlanta, believe it or not, Dream, I didn't realize this, that they're 5-3 at home.
Yep.
3 out of their 5 losses came at home.
Sure.
That's surprising. And the Seattle Seahawks on the road, 3-4-1, have a losing record. Under over a 51 in that game. The other game on Saturday, which is at night, is in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. You got the New England Patriots, who are -16.5 points versus the number 1 defense in all of the NFL, the Houston Texans.
No doubt. And right now, they are, getting out, the coroner has been, dispatched there. They're trying to, they're getting CSI on standby. They got all kinds of medical response teams. They're getting everybody prepped and primed for this game, as it should be a bludgeoning.
Dream, are you planning on money lining the Patriots?
No, I didn't money line them, but I did do a 10-point teaser. So I do have them. I do have them. -6.5 in the 10-pointer. It was along with Clemson. I had Clemson on Monday. I took Clemson money line. I also took Clemson in a big teaser, along with a few other teams, and the Patriots are one of them. And I'm thinking about taking the Patriots, and I'm thinking about buying it down 2 points to 3 points, 13.5.
I didn't know if that was your 5-star play, the Patriots money line this week.
I know. Listen, I told you I had it in there were a bunch of parlays, and I wasn't going to take them minus the points, so I just plugged them in there. Whatever.
I'm breaking your balls. I'm having a lot of fun with you today, man.
Whatever.
Having a lot of fun.
I did win more than $54.
Keep it. Hey, just so you know, I didn't have any losses this weekend either in gambling. Just so you know.
I remember you emphatically taking the Dolphins plus points that they didn't cover.
Oh, you know what? you're right. I did have the Dolphins plus the points in that one. It wasn't a huge play because I was nervous about Le'Veon Bell. But it was. I did have a blemish. You are correct about that.
See how quick the dream had to remind my man. See how quick
you know what? It's Thursday. That was 4 days ago. So you know what? I do remember that exactly.
4 days ago, but you're talking about how you came in second in the fantasy thing, no.
I do stand corrected on that. My bad. But anyway, moving on to the Steelers.
I can't wait for Dizzle to come out and tell me he made a halftime adjusted play and took the Packers for the second half and won.
Oh, man. I can't believe I forgot about that one. But anyway.
I can't wait to talk to Dr. Dan on Saturday, and I hope he's listening, and I hope he's preparing. I'm expecting that maybe he might be a little bit under the weather Saturday, maybe not be able to make it on the show.
Have you seen the new Crying Jordans with, like, the actual video, Dream?
No, I have not.
Dude, you got to see it. So on Snapchat, you could actually put Crying Jordan faces on videos.
Okay.
And it, like, merges it, too.
Oh, wow.
Oh, kid, it's crazy.
They
had one with Saban talking after the game.
Oh, you know what? Somebody sent me that, and I didn't see it. I think Scott Weaver sent me that, and it didn't come out, and I was busy, so I never got back to it. I'll definitely have to get on that tonight. Go ahead.
Definitely.
Anyway.
Steelers at the Chiefs. Chiefs 12-4, 6-2 at home. Steelers are 5-3 on the road. 11-5. Steelers have won 8 straight games, Dream.
I'm all over the Steelers. I love the Steelers. Listen, I know you guys might be a little bit worried about the second half of the game. Please don't talk to me about Ben Roethlisberger being injured because he's not. He's fine. Put his boot in. It's his quarterbacks have talked about. They've done that over the years just to kind of take a little pressure off the leg. The boot came off on Monday. I expect Big Ben to be in there. I like the Steelers to win this game, so we will discuss more on Saturday.
All right, sounds good. And that game right now I see as a pick'em, Dream.
Okay.
It's a pick'em. So they're not really giving Kansas City a lot of credit here as far as having home field advantage and all that stuff. I mean, we've talked about it time and time again. Kansas City has a decent defense, but they have an inability to close teams out, number one. Number two is they have the inability to offensively dazzle you. It's just like kind of like that, with the exception of this year. It's almost like the Alabama offense of old,
Very, very good analogy.
Very good analogy. All right. So, and then the final one is the greatest team that ever lived, the Dallas Cowboys, who are hosting the red hot Green Bay Packers.
Now, I did not get involved in this game. I did the 10.4 team teasers, and I took Clemson, I took Atlanta, I took New England, and I took Pittsburgh. I stayed away from this game because I don't want to be biased, okay? One thing I try to do is try to keep an open mind. I don't want to be one of them homer guys that's in love with my team, even though I know that this could be tough, and then say my team's going to kill somebody when I should just fall back from that. I'm not one of those guys like my two co-hosts, and I'm not going to be one of those guys that's disillusioned about what the Dallas Cowboys have been able to do this season. I do not think by any stretch of the imagination Green Bay's defense is going to be able to stop Dallas's running game. So that's my first concern with this game. And if Dallas is able to run the ball very, very effectively and successfully, they obviously, when you're able to run this ball, it allows you to take control of the game from an offensive standpoint.
Right.
Green Bay coming in, after a long drive, out of rhythm, Aaron Rodgers doing his thing, a quick three and out. This game could get ugly very quickly if it's not managed properly by the Green Bay Packers. So this game's got a lot of intangibles. I'm not done with the homework of it yet. And like I said, I don't want to be biased at all. However, the more points the Green Bay Packers get, the more interested I am in looking at them, because while I do think that Dallas is going to have success running the ball, I also think that Green Bay is going to have success throwing the ball, especially if they go to a no-huddle that Dallas' defense has shown to have a little issue with. So, guys, you're going to have to buckle up and just wait, because it's going to be a preview. I'll make up my mind by Sunday, and we will talk about this game a little bit further down the road.
All right. I mean, the key question mark here is Jordy Nelson. Is he going to be in the lineup?
I don't know that that's a question mark, because I think that Green Bay still has enough, based on Dallas's defense, I think Green Bay still has enough wide receivers to get it done. Of course, you want Jordy Nelson there, but, dude, Geronimo Allison didn't really get in that game. Now opens up a spot for him. Green Bay's like 5 deep in the receiver category, so I'm not going to go crazy. And you know that Aaron Rodgers is able to find the open receiver, whoever it is.
Jordy Nelson has sustained at least 2 rib fractures.
And another missed call by the refs in the NFL as well.
Oh, where he got hit?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough hit. Exactly.
Crowded a helmet, and they never called it.
Exactly. But anyway, I mean, like you said, they are pretty stacked. I mean, between, Ty Montgomery and Randall Cobb and, a couple of other guys out there.
Adams, Allison, Geronimo Allison. I mean, they're loaded. The tight end. Green Bay, listen, Green Bay's wide receiving core is loaded right now. So I'm not going to go crazy with the loss of Jordy Nelson. However, I would be surprised if he didn't play. I've seen a lot of guys play with broken ribs.
Yeah, that's tough, though.
No, very tough, especially for a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is it's not in a cold environment, so you're not really, breathing in that cold air. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see how it ends up shaking out. But, Dream, like you said, I agree with you. The no-huddle offense will have Dallas gassed. And you know what? If this defense of the Green Bay Packers could rise up just a touch and kind of contain Ezekiel Elliott and force Dak Prescott to have to throw the ball and kind of torment him a little bit, you're going to have yourself a ball game. You're going to have yourself a real good ball game. And don't let the Green Bay Packers go up 2 scores because it's going to be real tough for Dallas to overcome that, Dream.
I'm not going to go crazy yet with this game. I think that Dallas is still Dallas, and the ability to run the ball is going to wear down. But here's my thing. Don't let Green Bay get that 8 in the box and have some success stopping the run, because then it is going to be an interesting game. This game's got a lot of interesting dynamics, and we'll definitely get into it a little bit, further along in this weekend. And definitely get Dr. Dan in here and hear his thoughts, because Dr. Dan usually can push me into making the call. So let's hear where he's going, and I might be able to definitely make an emphatic decision.
All right, sounds good, Dream. All right, so we got a couple minutes left here. I've got an extraordinary, crazy day today, but I'd like to know if you have anything else up your sleeve as far as the other sports are concerned.
Well, first of all, I've got to talk about, for really quick, we'll talk about San Diego moving to L.A., and now L.A. wants to host. L.A. goes from no teams to 1 bad team into now 2 bad teams. Yep. So LA is going to have 2 bad teams playing football in a city that will not tolerate bad teams. Smart move by the NFL. Both teams are probably going to be looking to relocate in probably 10 years. But, hey, they want to go do that, go do it. I know everybody wants to run and go get another stadium. Listen, you could move wherever you want. If you stink, you stink. Why don't you fix up your team being bad and straighten that whole situation out? I don't know what the answer is for either one of these teams as far as getting better, because both of these teams, talent-wise, are a mess. San Diego, you got an older quarterback that's on his way out, and you got no bright spot behind him. St. Louis, you got a younger guy with the future looking dusty in front of him. Once again, what they really should do is merge both teams in LA and do that.
Yeah, but right.
I don't understand how they're going to do it. They're doing it. I think it's messed up. I think it's bad to San Diego. I think they're kind of crapping on the San Diego fans, but they did it to St. Louis, to their fans as well. That's what the NFL seems to do. So, hey, whatever. I hate it, but whatever. In other news, let's go over to NBA real quick. Your boys get blown out last night. I don't understand what that's all about.
Who'd you get blown out by?
Portland Trailblazers.
Okay. But you know what? They have that customary game, Dream. They're not, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not that team trying to go for a win record. That's not what they're about. They want to win in the playoffs. So you know what? We've seen it time and time again. And actually, I believe Rick Lopez was hitting me up last night asking me about betting on the Cleveland Cavs, and I just say, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to. First of all, I was on the road. I couldn't watch the game anyway. But, you have to wait, guys. For the Cleveland Cavs, you got to wait for them to lose a couple of games in a row and have the media on their backs. That's what you need. When that happens is when we pound the Cavs. We saw it, Dream. We already had one spot when they played the Toronto Raptors and we murdered it, remember?
We did. This is a little bit different situation. This is a little West Coast road trip. I get it. They've been vocal already. LeBron's already come out and said that we need practice. So, I know what you're saying, and I do hear that. This was kind of a bad loss, though, Hat, because you almost got beat by 20 points. I mean, they got beat by 18, I think. No, let's see. You got beat by 16 points.
Okay.
Not a good look, Hat.
Yeah, but you know what, Dream?
The Portland Hat.
No, listen. It's that West Coast style. If they're dropping threes and the Cleveland Cavaliers take the night off as far as their psyche's concerned and their ability to play. We've seen it. We saw it last year. Remember Golden State went into Cleveland and beat them by like 30-something?
Yeah, but this is a different Cleveland team that thinks, it's just a different Cleveland team. It's just a bad loss last night. I'm not going to go crazy about it, and we will move on because I do need to talk about another issue. Both of us at the beginning of this season wanted to talk about the Chicago Bulls probably being good with their new acquisitions, and I wanted to talk about the New York Knicks probably being good with their acquisitions. And both of us right now should probably not talk about basketball anymore based on those two little comments because, by the way, both teams suck. Okay? They suck and they're a mess. All right? The New York Knicks on Monday, Derrick Rose no shows. Okay? No shows. Doesn't go to the game, doesn't call nobody. It's just like, it's game time. Everybody's like, hey, anybody seen Rose? No. Okay?
Where
nobody knows where he's at. All right? Next, Carmelo goes in the game, gets thrown out of the game for something he says to the refs because he don't feel like playing because, hey, Rose is not there. Why am I here? You know what? I don't want to be here neither. This team is a mess right now. They're talking about getting rid of Carmelo Anthony. Derrick Rose, who knows what's going to go on with him. They find him. They go into Philadelphia last night and get beat by the Philadelphia Sixers.
Wow.
All right? That's the shape that this team is in right now. They're talking about trading Carmelo. Carmelo, I think, should take the trade, and New York should try to get him out of here. I don't know what teams would want him, but they're saying that possibly the LA Clippers would be a nice fit, which I see.
Yeah.
I also happen to think that the best place for him to go, in my opinion, is Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
I think he'd be great in Oklahoma alongside, I don't know what kind of money or what Oklahoma has, but for this season right now, if you could, I don't know, get him a 1-year deal or I don't know what you do, but Oklahoma could use Carmelo Anthony because he's just another offensive option for this team. They're not going to depend on him a whole hell of a lot along with Russell Westbrook. It'll just give Westbrook a little bit of a break, and now you got a team that it's possible to have a nice run in the playoffs. I think Oklahoma is a better fit for Carmelo than the Clippers would be, in my opinion.
Good deal. I agree with you on that. I like that move a lot. So what else you got?
Speaking of which, both awful teams are playing each other tonight. Oh, and your boy Rondo, already on the bench, already complaining. He wants to get out of there as well. Now, Rondo, on the other hand, I think that Rondo should go to the LA Clippers because I think that Doc Rivers is probably the only coach who could put up with him and tolerate him. But I don't know if Doc Rivers wants to deal with him. But he would give Paul a break and probably fit in well with the Clippers. So I think that Rondo should go to the Clippers, which is not probably going to happen. But that would be a nice idea for them.
Go play with the truth.
Go play with the truth.
Yet again.
Everybody's sick of him. Rondo's days are numbered. Dude, it's so crazy that you're a professional athlete, immensely talented, you get in the game, and you make such a track record of yourself that nobody wants to be bothered with you, and nobody wants you on your team. And that's where Rondo's at right now. He's like a cancer as far as those teams are concerned. So let's get him out of here. Let's move on. College basketball. Arizona Wildcats, need to talk to them about for a second. Bobby Hurley, the head coach there, doing an incredible job with this team. They are number 16. I don't know if you remember how big Arizona was last year. They're big again this year. 7-foot center, 7-foot forward. Laurie Marketsman is just doing his thing down there as far as the forward position is concerned. Power forward, 7 feet, averaging 15.9 points a game. This team, I talked about them a little bit. Maybe a week and a half ago, I'm again talking about them. They went to Colorado, beat Colorado. Very good win on their part. They got Arizona State coming into the house tonight. I like Arizona to get this game won, and I like to keep an eye on this team as they're not getting talked about a lot, but I think they're one of the more talented teams in college basketball.
Okay. Sounds good. As soon as football ends, that's usually when I dive right into college hoop stream.
No doubt. And gang, I do have one play this evening as far as the ice is concerned. We are still fading New Jersey Devils. They are one of the worst teams in hockey. They go and play the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Now, you could do one of two things, in my opinion. You could have an open parlay, and you take the New Jersey Devils because – not New Jersey Devils. You take the Edmonton Oilers against New Jersey Devils because not only do the New Jersey Devils catch a loss tonight, but they leave Edmonton and go to Calgary and catch a loss against the Flames on Friday night as well. So you could do an open parlay and back-to-back fade the New Jersey Devils as far as I'm concerned, which is what I'm going to do. Also, if you want, you could take, let's see here, you could take the Oilers and you can money line Arizona, but Arizona's given like 16, so I don't know if how that will work for you, but you could take Arizona, college basketball, and put them with the Oilers and get all your money tonight. I'm going to leave it open and just fade the Devils both nights, today and tomorrow, and you know about how the luck usually works for on Friday for me. I think that's a solid play. Let's go get that money against the Devils 2 nights in a row.
All right, sounds good, Dream. So we're getting ready for the weekend shows, guys, and we'll be back on the air tomorrow. Ready to rock and tear the sports world up. So, Dream, what do you got to do to close out of here, my man?
I want to thank everybody who has definitely participated in the show. Love the comments. Love all the energy out there on Twitter. Gang, you got my DM. I've been getting hits up. I've been a little bit busy myself. I got a lot of things going on. You guys know I'm in the middle of a nasty divorce. But I got, I've been busy with that, but I do get back to people, so don't feel bad if I haven't gotten back to you. Obviously pay attention to the show. Sometimes I don't necessarily do the plays behind the scenes. I'm just too busy, but I usually am on in some way, shape, or form what I'm on when I talk about on the show, and I'm definitely fading the Devils tonight and tomorrow night, no doubt. And if the Devils should win tonight, I'm going to double it down tomorrow night, so just letting you know where I'm going. But I don't expect that to happen. I want to thank Andy Jones, Terrence Mack, Sports News and Videos. My man Irvin is in the house. What's going on, Irv? AB Lint is out there. SD Grind. Irv, did you win the suicide pool? I think you did win, so we all want our money. JC's out there. Michael Hayes. C. Rodriguez Jr. C. Rod's out there. The incredible Marley Marr. Good to see you. Shane, tearing me up this morning with all the talk about Clemson. I'm happy for you, brother. Do your thing. Talk. Wear it proud. Bud Chet is in the house. Caveman, Vegas Girl 92661, Bang the Book, Rick Lopez, KMVU, Terry Bouchard, and so many more. Gang, next few days should be absolutely, positively entertaining and exciting, especially the weekend and the return of the evil genius.
Yes.
A little bit more evil than genius this week, but hopefully you'll turn that around this weekend. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot take this time, get this time back.
First off, I want to apologize for the Dream trying to keep the white man down. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Dream. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there and go easy this week. But you know what? It's 2017. Go take the world by the balls. Go out there, rise and grind, and get that money.
Let's go. Get 'em.